What if your own reflection was more than just an image? What if it was a warning? Tonight, we plunge into one of humanity's oldest and most disturbing mysteries, the doppelganger. Across centuries and continents, people have looked into the eyes of their double and felt the icy grip of fate. Presidents, poets, and ordinary souls alike, all haunted by encounters that defy explanation. Are these spectral twins mere tricks of the mind, or chilling omens that signal tragedy and death? From royal courts to viral videos, the evidence is undeniable. Reality can fracture, and when it does, the consequences are terrifying. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you believe about identity, consciousness, and the thin line separating life from the unknown. These are not just stories, they are documented events that have left families shattered, witnesses shaken, and science searching for answers. By the end of this video, you may never trust your own reflection again. Before we dive deeper, a quick but crucial request. Most people who watch these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. If you crave the truth behind the world's darkest mysteries and want to keep uncovering stories that will haunt your thoughts, hit subscribe now and turn on notifications. Don't risk missing the next revelation. Your curiosity deserves to be rewarded with the most unsettling secrets our world has to offer. Now, steel yourself. The truth behind the doppelganger awaits, and it's far more disturbing than you can imagine. Across centuries, the phenomenon of the doppelganger, one's spectral double, has unsettled witnesses and challenged our understanding of reality. From the halls of power to ordinary lives, these encounters are not just stories, but documented events that have left a trail of fear, confusion, and speculation. This report examines both historical and contemporary cases, revealing how the appearance of a double has been interpreted as an omen, a psychological anomaly, or a glitch in the very fabric of existence. One of the most famous cases involved Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. On the night of his first election, Lincoln reportedly saw two reflections of himself in a mirror, one healthy, the other pale and ghostly. His wife, Mary, took this as a premonition of death or grave illness. The chilling accuracy of this omen became clear when Lincoln was assassinated not long after beginning his second term. Such accounts are not isolated. European royalty too reported similar experiences, with Catherine the Great and Queen Elizabeth I, both encountering their own doubles shortly before their deaths. The case of Émilie Saget stands out not just for its eerie nature, but for the sheer number of credible witnesses. In 1845, at a boarding school in Latvia, Saget's students and colleagues reported seeing her double repeatedly. During a lesson, while Saget wrote on the blackboard, her double appeared beside her, mimicking her every movement but holding no chalk. 13 students confirmed this event, and similar sightings continued throughout her tenure. On another occasion, as Saget sat at lunch, her double appeared behind her, copying her gestures without touching any food. These repeated manifestations unsettled the entire school community, eventually leading to complaints from parents and Saget's resignation. What makes Saget's case particularly disturbing is that she never saw her own double. Though she often felt weak and drained after each incident, students who tried to interact with the apparition described a strange resistance, like pressing against a thin veil of fabric. Official records reveal that Saget had worked at 18 different schools over 16 years, suggesting a pattern of unexplained phenomena following her wherever she went. Her story remains one of the most thoroughly documented doppelganger cases in history, raising questions about the limits of perception and the possibility of unexplained forces at play. The maritime tragedy involving Vice Admiral Sir George Tryon stands as one of the most compelling doppelganger cases ever recorded. On June 22, 1893, Tryon was commanding a fleet off the Syrian coast when he gave a puzzling order that led to a catastrophic collision between HMS Victoria and HMS Camperdown. The Victoria sank, resulting in the deaths of 357 crew members, including Tryon himself. At that exact moment, back in London, guests at Lady Tryon's party claimed to have seen the Admiral, dressed in full uniform, silently walk through the drawing room and vanish. News of his death would only reach them later, but the chilling synchronicity between his demise and his spectral appearance left witnesses deeply unsettled. Doppelganger encounters have not been limited to political or military figures. Renowned literary personalities, such as Percy Bysshe Shelley and John Donne, also reported experiences with their doubles. Shelley, for instance, saw his own apparition shortly before his untimely death by drowning, while Donne described seeing a vision of his wife carrying a dead child at the same moment she suffered a stillbirth miles away. These accounts, documented by friends and biographers, add to the growing body of evidence that doppelganger phenomena are not restricted by social status, geography, or era. In the 1990s, a striking case documented by neuropsychologist Peter Brugger in Zurich brought the doppelganger phenomenon into the realm of modern medicine. A 21-year-old waiter, after discontinuing his anticonvulsant medication, experienced a vivid and terrifying encounter with his own double. One morning, as he got out of bed, he turned to see himself still lying there. Overcome by anger and confusion, he tried to shake and even jump on the figure, but it remained unresponsive. The most disturbing aspect was his shifting consciousness at times. He felt himself as the figure in bed, looking up at his own double, standing over him. This existential disorientation led him to leap from his fourth-floor window, seeking to reconcile his sense of self. He survived the fall, and medical investigations revealed a tumor in his left temporal lobe. After its removal, both his seizures and doppelganger experiences ceased. The digital age has introduced new contexts for these encounters. In January 2025, a TikTok user known as Tay Tay posted a viral video showing herself alongside a stranger at an airport. Both women shared the same hairstyle, clothing, and mannerisms. The uncanny resemblance sparked widespread speculation online, with viewers debating whether this was a case of twins separated at birth or a glitch in the matrix. Similar stories have surfaced on platforms like Reddit, where users recount moments of locking eyes with their doubles in public spaces, describing the overwhelming sensation of staring into a living mirror. These contemporary accounts demonstrate that the phenomenon persists, adapting to new social realities and technologies while retaining its unsettling psychological impact. The concept of the doppelganger is not limited to Western culture. In ancient Egypt, the ka was believed to be a spiritual double that accompanied every person, identical in appearance but invisible to most. Norse mythology described the vardoga, a ghostly forerunner that would appear in a place before the person physically arrived. In Ireland and England, stories of the fetch circulated, an ethereal double whose appearance was widely considered a harbinger of death. These cross-cultural accounts reveal that the fear and fascination with doubles is deeply rooted in human history, transcending language and geography. Modern science has attempted to explain these experiences through the lens of neurology and psychology. Phenomena such as autoscopic hallucinations, where individuals see a replica of themselves in external space, are often linked to abnormal activity in the brain's temporal lobe. Stress, sleep deprivation, and neurological disorders can also trigger these perceptions. The Zurich case, where a brain tumor caused persistent doppelganger sightings, underscores the complex relationship between brain function and self-perception. Yet, even with these explanations, the emotional impact and consistency of doppelganger reports across centuries suggest that the phenomenon taps into something fundamental about the human experience. The persistence of doppelganger phenomena across time and culture raises questions about the nature of identity and reality itself. In the 18th century, the term doppelganger was popularized by German author Jean Paul but the concept had already appeared in ancient myths and folklore. Reports from Egypt, Scandinavia, and the British Isles all describe doubles as omens or spiritual entities, often associated with death or misfortune. These stories, passed down through generations, have shaped the collective fear and fascination surrounding the idea of meeting one's own double. Contemporary psychology and neurology have provided frameworks to interpret these encounters. Autoscopic hallucinations, as classified by neurologists, occur when the brain's sense of self-location and body image is disrupted, sometimes by tumors, epilepsy, or extreme psychological stress. The Zurich case, where a tumor in the left temporal lobe triggered persistent visions of a double, exemplifies how physical changes in the brain can profoundly affect perception. Yet despite these advances, science does not fully explain why doppelganger encounters are often accompanied by intense emotional responses, or why they so frequently coincide with moments of crisis or tragedy. The persistence of doppelganger phenomena across centuries is reflected in the remarkable consistency of emotional responses from those who claim to have experienced them. Whether it was Abraham Lincoln's sense of dread after seeing his pale reflection, or modern social media users describing a wave of confusion and unease upon meeting their lookalike. The emotional aftermath is often marked by fear, disbelief, and a lingering sense of vulnerability. These reactions are not limited to any particular era or social class. They appear in royal courts, literary circles, and ordinary lives alike, suggesting a universal psychological impact. Scientific investigations into these experiences have revealed that autoscopic hallucinations can be induced by various neurological conditions such as epilepsy, tumors, or even severe stress. While cases like the Zurich waiter provide a medical explanation for some encounters, many remain unexplained, especially those with multiple witnesses or where the double appears at a distance from the original person. Cultural interpretations, from the Egyptian Ka to the Norse Vardögr, demonstrate that the fear of encountering one's double is deeply embedded in the human psyche, often associated with omens of death or misfortune. This intersection of folklore, psychology, and neurology keeps the phenomenon relevant and mysterious in both historical and contemporary contexts. Social media has amplified the visibility of doppelganger encounters, transforming them from private fears into viral phenomena. In January 2025, a TikTok user named Tay Tay posted a video from an airport, capturing herself beside a stranger who looked so similar they could have been twins. Their identical hair, clothing, and mannerisms fueled speculation in the comments, with viewers debating whether this was a case of long-lost siblings or a glitch in the Matrix. Similar stories have emerged on Reddit, where users describe the shock of meeting someone who mirrors their own appearance. One user recounted locking eyes with their double at a concert, both transfixed by the uncanny resemblance, unable to find a single difference. Another described a school encounter where meeting their double on the stairs left them frozen, as if staring into a living mirror. These digital age encounters echo the emotional intensity found in historical cases. Witnesses often describe a wave of confusion, fear, or even existential dread upon meeting their double. The moment is typically brief, but the psychological impact lingers, prompting questions about identity and reality. Whether captured on camera or etched in memory, these experiences continue to unsettle and fascinate, suggesting that the phenomenon is not only persistent, but also evolving with technology and social interaction. The universality of doppelganger encounters is evident in the way different societies have interpreted these experiences. In ancient Egypt, the concept of the Kai represented a spirit double, while Norse mythology spoke of the Vardögr, a forerunner that would appear before its human counterpart arrived. Irish and English folklore warned of the fetch, a spectral double whose appearance was widely believed to predict death. These stories, though separated by time and geography, share a common thread. The sighting of one's own double is rarely a benign experience. Whether regarded as a supernatural omen or a psychological anomaly, the emotional impact, fear, confusion, and a sense of impending doom remains consistent across cultures and centuries. Modern science has made strides in explaining some doppelganger experiences through the lens of neurology and psychology. Autoscopic hallucinations, for example, are now recognized as perceptual disturbances often linked to abnormal activity in the brain's temporal lobe. Cases like the Zurich waiter, whose experiences ceased after the removal of a tumor, highlight the role of brain function in shaping our sense of self. Yet, despite these advances, many encounters remain unexplained, especially those with multiple witnesses or where the double appears at a distance from the original person. This enduring mystery keeps doppelganger phenomena at the intersection of folklore, neuroscience, and the unexplained, fueling ongoing fascination and research. Despite advances in neuroscience, the doppelganger phenomenon continues to resist full explanation. Cases like the Zurich waiter demonstrate that physical changes in the brain, such as tumors or seizures, can produce vivid, even life-threatening encounters with one's own double. Yet, these medical explanations cannot account for the numerous historical and contemporary cases involving multiple witnesses or apparitions appearing at great distances from the original person. The maritime tragedy of Vice Admiral Tryon, where his double appeared to guests in London at the precise moment of his death at sea, remains particularly resistant to scientific interpretation. Such accounts fuel ongoing debate among researchers, with some suggesting that these experiences may reveal gaps in our understanding of consciousness, perception, and the nature of reality itself. Cultural interpretations continue to shape the way these encounters are understood and processed. In some societies, seeing a double is still considered a dire omen, while in others, it is interpreted as a psychological or neurological event. The persistence of these beliefs, even in the digital age, highlights the enduring power of the doppelganger as a symbol of existential fear and uncertainty. Whether regarded as supernatural warnings, neurological anomalies, or glitches in the Matrix, these encounters provoke a deep, visceral response, one that transcends time, culture, and scientific explanation. What makes doppelganger encounters particularly compelling is the remarkable consistency in how they are experienced and reported, regardless of era or culture. From Abraham Lincoln's chilling mirror vision to the viral TikTok at the airport, witnesses describe a similar emotional aftermath: fear, confusion, and a profound sense of unease. The accounts often include physical sensations, weakness, exhaustion, or a strange resistance when attempting to touch the apparition, as seen in the case of Émilie Saget. These shared details suggest that the phenomenon, whether supernatural or neurological, taps into a deep and universal aspect of human psychology. Scientific research has made significant progress in explaining some of these experiences, especially with the identification of autoscopic hallucinations and their link to abnormal brain activity. However, the persistence of doppelganger reports in the digital age and the consistency of emotional and physical responses indicate that the phenomenon is not simply a relic of folklore or superstition. Instead, it remains a living mystery, one that continues to challenge our understanding of identity, consciousness, and the boundaries of perception. The enduring fascination with doppelganger phenomena lies not only in their mysterious nature, but also in the consistency of their documentation. Historical cases, such as those of Abraham Lincoln, Catherine the Great, and Émilie Saget, share striking similarities with modern encounters captured on social media or described in medical literature. Whether the double appears as an omen of death, a product of neurological disturbance, or a glitch in the fabric of reality, the emotional impact is always profound: fear, confusion, and a lingering sense that something fundamental about existence has been disturbed. This report has examined documented cases, from royal courts and literary circles to digital platforms and hospital records, revealing that the doppelganger phenomenon transcends time, culture, and technology. The scientific community has made progress in understanding some aspects, particularly through the study of otoscopic hallucinations and brain function. Yet, the persistence of unexplained cases, especially those involving multiple witnesses or apparitions appearing at a distance, suggests that our knowledge remains incomplete. The doppelganger remains a powerful symbol at the intersection of folklore, psychology, and the unknown, continuing to unsettle and intrigue in equal measure. One of the most striking aspects of doppelganger phenomena is the way their core elements remain unchanged, even as society and technology evolve. The sense of foreboding, the emotional shock, and the lingering fear are as present in 19th-century royal courts as they are in today's viral social media posts. The report of Émilie Saget's students, the guests at Lady Tryon's party, and the TikTok audience all share a common reaction: a deep, unsettling sense that reality has been disrupted. This enduring emotional response points to something fundamental and unresolved in the human experience. Despite advances in neuroscience, many cases defy simple explanation. Otoscopic hallucinations, often linked to neurological disturbances, provide a framework for understanding some encounters, as in the Zurich case. However, the consistency of emotional impact and the frequency of multiple witness events suggest that not all doppelganger experiences can be dismissed as mere brain anomalies. Instead, they invite us to reconsider the boundaries of perception and the mysteries that persist at the edges of consciousness. As long as these stories are told, whether in historical archives or trending hashtags, they will continue to disturb, fascinate, and remind us of the limits of what we truly know. The consistency of doppelganger accounts across centuries and cultures is what makes them so compelling to researchers and laypeople alike. From the spectral double that haunted Abraham Lincoln's reflection to the viral video of two strangers meeting in an airport, the emotional aftermath remains the same: fear, confusion, and a persistent sense of unease. Even as science advances, offering explanations rooted in neurology, such as otoscopic hallucinations triggered by abnormal brain activity, these encounters resist simple categorization. The Zurich waiter's case, resolved only after the removal of a brain tumor, stands in contrast to the many historical and contemporary accounts involving multiple witnesses, which cannot be so easily explained. What persists is the phenomenon's power to challenge our understanding of identity and reality. Whether interpreted as supernatural omens, psychological anomalies, or glitches in the fabric of existence, doppelganger encounters continue to fascinate and disturb. They remind us that despite scientific progress, there are experiences that remain at the edge of understanding mysteries that connect folklore, psychology, and the unexplained. As long as such stories are told and new cases emerge, the doppelganger will remain a powerful symbol of the unknown, haunting both our collective imagination and our sense of self. The continued presence of doppelganger phenomena in both historical records and modern digital platforms highlights a universal, human fear: the disruption of identity and the boundaries of self. Whether described as a supernatural omen, a psychological anomaly, or a neurological event, the experience of seeing one's double consistently provokes a deep, visceral reaction. The historical accounts of Abraham Lincoln, Catherine the Great, and Émilie Saget, as well as the viral TikTok and Reddit encounters, all share a common thread: an overwhelming sense that reality has been momentarily fractured. Despite advances in neuroscience and psychology, the doppelganger remains an unsolved mystery. Scientific explanations like otoscopic hallucinations and temporal lobe disturbances offer insight, but do not account for the consistency of emotional impact or the frequency of multiple witness events. Cultural interpretations from the Egyptian Kai to the Norse Vardögr reinforce the idea that this phenomenon is deeply embedded in our collective psyche. As long as these stories are told, whether in ancient folklore or trending hashtags, the doppelganger will continue to haunt the boundaries of what we know, challenging our understanding of self and the limits of perception. The cross-cultural presence of doppelganger phenomena reveals that this is not merely a Western superstition, but a universal human experience. In ancient Egypt, the Ka was believed to be a spirit double, identical in form and inseparable from the person in life and death. Norse legends describe the Vardögr, a forerunner that appears before its living counterpart arrives, while Irish and English folklore speak of the fetch, a spectral double whose sighting is an omen of death. These beliefs, though separated by centuries and continents, share a common thread. The appearance of one's double is almost always interpreted as a warning, a sign that something is about to change, often for the worse. Scientific research over the past century has provided frameworks for understanding some doppelganger encounters, especially through the study of otoscopic hallucinations. Neurologists have identified that disruptions in the temporal lobe can cause individuals to perceive a double of themselves in their environment, as seen in the Zurich case. While these findings explain certain medical cases, they do not account for the consistency of emotional impact or the frequency of multiple witness events throughout history. The persistence and universality of these reports suggest that beyond neurology, the EIE phenomenon may reflect something deeper about the human mind, our fear of the unknown, our anxiety about mortality, and the fragility of our sense of self. The persistence of doppelganger phenomena into the modern era, now amplified by digital technology, demonstrates that this is not a relic of superstition, but a living mystery. Viral videos and online forums have brought these encounters into the public eye, yet the emotional responses remain unchanged. Confusion, fear, and a lingering sense that reality has been momentarily disrupted. Whether in the royal courts of Europe or in the fleeting anonymity of an airport terminal, the shock of seeing one's double continues to provoke the same visceral reaction. Scientific advances have illuminated part of the puzzle, especially through the study of otoscopic hallucinations and neurological disturbances. The Zurich waiter's case, resolved only after the removal of a brain tumor, is a testament to the role of the brain in shaping our sense of self. Yet the frequency of multiple witness events and the enduring cultural symbolism of the doppelganger point to something deeper, an unresolved question about the nature of identity, consciousness, and the unknown. As long as such stories are told and new cases emerge, the doppelganger will remain a powerful symbol at the intersection of folklore, science, and the unexplained. The consistency of these encounters across centuries and cultures is what makes doppelganger phenomena so compelling. From Abraham Lincoln's mirror vision to the viral TikTok encounter in 2025, the emotional aftermath, fear, confusion, and a sense of impending doom remains unchanged. Medical cases, like the Zurich waiter, whose experiences ended only after a brain tumor was removed, offer scientific explanations rooted in neurology. Yet, these do not account for the numerous historical and contemporary reports involving multiple witnesses or apparitions appearing at a distance from the original person. As research continues, doppelganger phenomena remain at the intersection of folklore, psychology, and the unexplained. Whether interpreted as supernatural omens, psychological anomalies, or glitches in the fabric of reality, these encounters challenge our understanding of identity and perception. The persistence of these stories, from royal courts and literary circles to digital platforms and hospital records, suggests that the boundaries of human consciousness and self-awareness are still not fully understood. As long as new cases emerge and old ones are retold, the doppelganger will continue to haunt the edges of what we know. reminding us of the mysteries that endure in both our history and our minds. The enduring presence of doppelganger phenomena in both folklore and scientific literature highlights the complexity of human perception and the mysteries that still surround consciousness. While neurology has shed light on some cases, particularly those involving autoscopic hallucinations triggered by brain abnormalities, there remain countless reports that defy easy categorization. The accounts of Émilie Saget, Vice Admiral Tryon, and the viral airport encounter all share a striking consistency in emotional impact and witness testimony, regardless of era or context. As new cases continue to surface, fueled by social media and digital connectivity, the fascination with doppelgangers shows no sign of fading. These encounters, whether interpreted as supernatural omens, neurological events, or glitches in reality, force us to confront the boundaries of identity and the unknown. They serve as a reminder that, despite centuries of scientific progress, certain experiences remain deeply unsettling and unexplained, echoing fears and questions that have haunted humanity for generations. The doppelganger remains a persistent and deeply unsettling presence in both historical and modern accounts. From the spectral double that haunted Émilie Saget's classrooms to the viral TikTok encounter in a crowded airport, the emotional aftermath, fear, confusion, and a sense of reality being disrupted remains strikingly consistent. These encounters, whether witnessed by royalty, literary figures, or ordinary people, challenge our understanding of identity and the boundaries of self. Scientific advances have provided frameworks for understanding some doppelganger experiences, especially those linked to neurological disturbances such as autoscopic hallucinations. Yet, the frequency of cases with multiple witnesses or apparitions appearing simultaneously at great distances continues to defy easy explanation. The phenomenon's cross-cultural presence, from the Egyptian Ka to the Norse Vardöga, underscores its universality and the depth of its roots in human psychology. As long as such stories are shared, the doppelganger will remain a powerful symbol at the intersection of folklore, science, and the unknown, haunting the edges of what we know about ourselves. The universality of doppelganger accounts, from ancient Egyptian beliefs in the Ka to viral TikTok videos in the digital age, reveals a phenomenon that transcends cultural boundaries and technological eras. The emotional aftermath, fear, confusion, and a sense of reality being fractured remains constant, whether the encounter occurs in a 19th century classroom or a modern airport terminal. Even as scientific research advances, offering neurological explanations for some cases, the persistence of reports involving multiple witnesses or apparitions appearing at great distances suggests that not all experiences can be easily categorized as brain anomalies or psychological disturbances. What makes doppelganger phenomena especially compelling is their ability to challenge our deepest assumptions about identity and perception. Cases like Émilie Saget, Vice Admiral Tryon, and the Zurich waiter underscore the complexity of the human mind and the limits of our scientific understanding. As long as these stories continue to be documented across centuries, continents, and platforms, the doppelganger will remain a haunting symbol at the intersection of folklore, neuroscience, and the unexplained, reminding us that some mysteries endure despite our best efforts to unravel them. The doppelganger phenomenon, documented from ancient folklore to viral social media posts, stands as one of the most enduring and unsettling mysteries in human experience. Whether encountered by presidents, poets, or ordinary people, the appearance of a double has consistently provoked fear, confusion, and a sense of reality being fundamentally disrupted. Historical accounts like those of Abraham Lincoln, Catherine the Great, and Émilie Saget, as well as modern cases shared on TikTok and Reddit, all highlight how these encounters transcend time, culture, and technology. Despite advances in neuroscience and psychology, The persistence and consistency of doppelganger experiences suggest that our understanding of identity and perception remains incomplete. Scientific explanations, such as autoscopic hallucinations triggered by neurological disturbances, account for some cases but cannot explain the emotional intensity or the frequency of multiple witness events. The phenomenon's presence in cultures as diverse as ancient Egypt, Norse mythology, and contemporary Western society underscores its universality and the depth of its roots in the human psyche. As research continues and new stories emerge, the doppelganger endures as a powerful symbol at the intersection of folklore, science, and the unknown, a haunting reminder that some mysteries still elude rational explanation. What would you do if you came face to face with your own double? Could you trust your senses, or would you question reality itself? Share your thoughts or personal experiences in the comments. Have you ever encountered something you just can't explain? If you found this story as unsettling as I did, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications right now. That's the only way to guarantee you won't miss the next mind-bending mystery we uncover, stories that could change the way you see the world. And don't go anywhere. The next recommended video is about to appear on your screen, diving even deeper into the secrets that haunt our reality. Thanks for watching. I'm Jack, and I'll see you in the next one.